All right, so this is NearPod.com. Now, I've got a membership to it, but you can get a free version or you can pay a wee subscription. I say wee subscription, a subscription, and then it will build a little library for you. And what you can do, see how I've got my library here. I've got my IGCSE economics and my IB economics all in different folders. So I've got a number of slide presentations. You see these are the ones that are on the go, and in the folders are the ones I've already done. Okay, so what you do is you grab any particular slide. So here's one. All right, so this is the one that I did for elasticity for IGCSE, and then in your file menu you can do download, and you download it as a PDF, and it will end up in your downloads folders at the bottom. And then in NearPod you go create, and you can create a lesson, and it will bring up the screen like this. And then in here it says it's drag and drop. So your PDF file or a PPT file or a PNG file, you just grab them and drag them in here, and it processes them and it puts them all in a line, and you can shuffle them all around, right, when they're in there. You do need to make sure that they're finished. The slides are actually finished before you have a go at them. You can give it a title, you can put it into different folders, all of those sorts of ideas. So if I go back, I'm going to go back now to NearPod, and I'll go into one of mine so that you see what it looks like. Once it's in the NearPod system, right, then you can drag it to a folder. You've got the option of adding it to Zoom, doing live presentations. Right, so that means it appears on your learners' computers, and then you get to control the pace at which they work through the work. Right, I always tell them to have multiple tabs open so they can then add to their notes and do Google searches, etc. Or you can allow it to be student-paced so that it's set. So say, for example, this one, which is a practice exam question, they can actually work their way through that at their own pace. All right, so if I do a preview just to show you what it does. Okay, no, in fact, I'll do an edit so that you see. Yeah, okay. All right. So what it does, what it looks like, once you've uploaded it as a PDF, it's going to look like this. Okay, so there's all the slides. Now, the program gives you the option of adding, it says add slide. Now, it's a bit of a misnomer there. It's not necessarily adding a slide. So if I was to click that, all right, then you get several options. Now you've got content options and activity options. The content options can be quite technical, all right, but you can add, if you've got another slideshow that you just want to play, you can add it in there, some audio. There's 3D aspects which are useful for science, some web content, etc., videos. And the videos are quite good because you're able to put a video in and then put questions. So you can stop the video and a question will appear that they all have to answer. Because any activity, so that's the next tab, any activity you create or action, the learners, because you're controlling it, right, the learners will have to do that activity before they move on to the next piece of information. So this is a time to climb, so you can have multiple choice questions, and it's like a visual hill, and they have to go up the hill answering the questions, and set the questions and answers in there. And it's a wee activity that they can do, and you can keep track of where they're at up the hill. Open-end questions, I use that quite a lot. Okay, so at your short response or extended response questions, right, you can get them to put answers in there, or planning for essays, you can get in there. And the beauty of that is that everybody will see what they do and how they do it, and you'll be able to give them some instant real-time feedback. I do matching pairs quite a lot because that's a very straightforward thing with the definitions. All right, you can then get them to match the definitions to the terms. Little quizzes can go in there. You can also add things like Flipgrid into it if you use Flipgrid. All right, memory tests, all right, checking, all right, terms and definitions. I use fill in the blanks quite a bit. Polls, collaborate boards, and drawing. You can add templates and you can draw, like for me, market models and shifts of curves and all of those sorts of things. Collaborate boards so they can work on a little mini whiteboard. It's really a brilliant system. And then all you do is you do save and exit. It gives you a code. Save and exit. It gives you a code that you then give to the learners.